Hello, this is Dr. Bennett, and you're here at Intentionally Well. So I have a guest today. I'm so excited for you to meet her. She's going to give us some information about parenting. Her name is Teresa Inman. She is a behavior analyst, and I love that we're here today talking to her about this very topic. It's so important. Us millennials and Gen Xers, we all have kids around this age, and we're trying to figure out how to parent them in this age of social media and everything. So I'm hoping that she'd give us some content just about such a topic. All right, so Teresa, how did you get into this industry? How did you get into behavior analyst in this way?
Super interesting, because the road has taken, I've always known that I wanted to work with children.
Okay.
And having two brown boys, I thought, you know what, the juvenile justice system seems to have some things against, and honestly, it's because I worked in juvenile justice. I volunteered in juvenile justice, and I met this woman beautiful, blonde, blue-eyed woman, and she said, you know, more people that look like me commit crimes, but more people that look like you get arrested and convicted. And I thought, oh my Lord, so I want to know as much as I can about this. And after working in juvenile justice for years and years, I realized that the reason that a lot of children are being thrust into the system, parents don't know what they don't know. Because at first I blamed the schools, right? And I'm not saying the schools are totally blameless. Right. However, and again, people don't know what they don't know. So, so I'm not really blaming. I'm just saying people don't know what they don't know. So after working in the school district for a while, and I've worked in various school districts, I thought, oh, you know what? Parents really are, they're not equipped, and because they have children. They did not come with any kind of instructions, to their ankles or their wrists, and we expect them to just go out there and thrive, and we don't teach them anything. And when they act out of what they don't know, we look at them and turn our noses up. So,
do you think it's a failure of the generation above us because these new parents don't know, or is it just a change in times? And parents from a different generation don't know how to raise children in the newer generation. I'm trying to figure out where does it stem from? What's your opinion?
I think it's when we came away from the village.
Oh.
Right. When parents started to feel that you tell me something, you're in my business, instead of you're telling me to help me. You're not coming from a place of judgment. I mean, I don't know if these people were acting out of judgment. However, when we approach a parent, it should always be from a place of, how can I help you? Instead of, I can't believe you said that, or I can't believe you did that. Because then we're actually, I don't know, as they say, casting shade, throwing shade, I don't know, whatever. And really doing them a disservice, because now their walls are up. Right? So instead of saying, hey, how can I help you? What is going on? Maybe they're tired, they're stressed, they're exhausted. Maybe they just don't know. They haven't been taught. So I think when, the village was lost, people moving away for, jobs or whatever, whatever reasons there were.
And I say, when you say the village, I always think about the concept of like that multi-generational house home, the grandparents in the house home, the aunts and uncles in the house home, or at least around the corner, right?
Right.
In the neighborhood.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yes. And actually, it goes beyond the family, because think about it. I remember me growing up, and I grew up in a little village in Dominica. Everybody in the neighborhood looked out for everybody in the neighborhood. So if I did something and somebody else saw that I did something, then my grandma would know about it, and she would talk to me about it.
Absolutely.
In various ways. So it's just really important that, we all come together, because just in your home is great. I mean, if you have that village in your home, it's wonderful. But, build that village. If you don't have that multi-generational, if you don't have those people in your home, then build that, neighbors and friends, and come together, because parenting should not be a solo sport. It's definitely a team sport.
So Teresa, you're giving me a lot of ideas here, and you're asking us in this time frame to trust others.
Yes, I am. What's a world without trust?
Oh.
Right? If we're always looking around, you're not fully living. Right? You're worried about what this person's going to say, what that person's going to do. So we have to take that chance and trust. And when we do that, you know what? And yes, we'll find out that some people are not trustworthy and some people are. However, you will never know. You know, your bestie might be that person that you're looking at and you're like, and then when you finally give them the chance, you're like, oh wow, you know, thank God I did.
Absolutely. So how do you, what strategies do you use in your business to either facilitate that trust that parents now have to develop? And sometimes it's either in family, right? The TV shows, the social media is almost telling us we have to be the protectors of our children solely because we can't trust others.
Yeah, and somebody said that to me once. I said something to her about, you know, because she said she was stressed because, again, parents who do not allow others to come in, they're stressed. You cannot parent from your worst self. You have to be rested in order for you to trust, in order for you to parent at your highest self, which your child deserves. It's really important that you're rested and that you have somebody to be a sounding board for you. You know, I always say, if my children were just exposed to me and my ideas, I didn't know how they would have turned out, right? So it's nice to have somebody say, yeah, I get you. However, why don't you think of it from this point of view? And I was so honored one day when my son said to me, because my best friend Bev, my son said, you know, Mom, there's some things I don't tell you. I talk to Auntie Bev. I'm like, thank God you talk to someone, you know, that I trust, right? Because he could have gone to God knows who, because he probably knew how I felt about whatever topic, you know, because my biases, they show, right? It's hard to let your guard down, not to let your guard down with your children, and you shouldn't, right? Your children should know, your family should know who you are authentically. And because he knew I had some biases about, I don't know what it was, I never asked, and I never asked her because I wanted to maintain that trust. So I never went to her and said, except to say, thank you, girl, for being there for Dre. You know, so and I'm so glad.
Like what he said.
I didn't.
You didn't do that.
No, because
you held that in, must be, because that would have been me.
Right, because I wanted him to continue to trust her, right?
Yes.
So how long am I going to hold on to this thing that I know that he didn't want me to know, right? And then he's going to lose trust in her. Then who will he go to?
Absolutely. Okay, so I know another hot topic, definitely on my social media page, along with my millennial friends, is the idea of gentle parenting. Can you tell us what that means to you? I feel like there's different definitions of what this is, and I don't want to say whether you support it or not. At least describe it for the people in your opinion and your definition of it.
Gentle parenting, in my view, can also be called authoritative parenting, where it's not that you're allowing children to do whatever they want to, because that's what a lot of people think when they hear gentle parenting. You're just allowing your child to go free and, you know, run the world or whatever.
Run your household, really.
Exactly. First of all, children, when we allow them to run our household, we're actually doing them a disservice because they don't have the capacity to run themselves, never mind a household.
Correct.
So we're giving them too much responsibilities, right? Children crave boundaries. And gentle parenting actually puts boundaries in place. It allows you to put boundaries in place. However, it's the way that you do it.
Okay.
Right, for me. So instead of saying, stop that, don't do that, blah, 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 like my kids, I'd ask them questions, you know? Get curious about it. Instead of telling them what to do or what not to do, I personally I'm always, you know, tell the children what to do. Give them the options of what they can do instead of telling them stop, don't, and whatever. Because when I walk into a home and I hear, don't do that, stop this, blah, 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 and I'm thinking to myself, so what can they do? Right? And the child is looking like, you know, so I was like, just tell them what their options are. Because the world has taken so many choices away. And I think it's really important that children have choices. They're able to make choices because in this world, sadly, I've worked in school districts, and children, up to high school, and children don't know how to think critically, right? I think gentle parenting helps children think critically because it allows them the opportunities to make choices and to really get to know who they are instead of us dictating everything to them. Right?
Okay.
We're allowing them to make some choices. And of course, listen, some of the choices can be as simple as you're going to eat the broccoli first or whatever first, right?
Those are your
but
options.
You're giving them choices, right?
Okay.
And I always say, don't make it a lot of choices. Make it 2 choices of things that you want them to do, things that are acceptable. Not, well, you can this, blah, 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 blah. Like I had a parent call me one day and she was like, she wanted me to come to her house to help her. And that's what I do. I go to parents' homes a lot to help them. In this case, I was contracting with a school, a preschool.
So this is a young person, young.
Yes. And Princess came in with the same outfit every single day. And the teachers would be like, oh, we know who won the battle today. Right? So mom's like, I've got a closet full of clothes and she won't wear them. I said, well, first of all, it's not a big deal as long as the clothes are clean. Right? Because eventually she will learn. Because my thing is, her friends will say something to her and it will be more impactful than what you will say to her. Right? So when they start, it's like I said, it's not a crime to wear the same thing every day as long as it's clean. Right? Secondly, when her friend says, why do you always wear the same thing? She will hear it clearer than when mom or dad say something about it. Right? So have there be options, or if it really drives you crazy, you can, make it not available and just give her choices of 2 things, maybe something that's similar, and just say, well, this is what we're wearing today. Because sometimes, and we're here in Florida, and what we want is not always available. And I always tell parents, think about hurricane season. All right. So when your child who's hooked on the tablet and there's no power and we can't access it, now you're in a stressful situation because of the hurricane and all the limits that puts on you. And now your child who's hooked on this device does not have it available.
You do.
Right. And you're already stressed.
So what do you do? That actually brings up a good point with tablets and, not necessarily social media, just access to the internet. Do you have a preference at what age did that start for a child, or no until a certain age group? You advise?
Yeah. I'll never tell a parent no, because I don't know what their reason for being is. I'm not going to tell you what to do, what not to do, because that might be your one little survival, one little piece of that moment when you get to breathe for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I said 10 minutes purposefully because I believe there should be limits.
Okay.
Right. Because what studies have found, children who get on these devices too early, it negatively impacts brain development. Right. So you want to make sure that you're capitalizing on and when I heard this, I was blown away.
Okay.
Children from birth to 3 make 1 million synaptic connections per second.
It's very fast.
Right. So I was like, exactly. So if they're just watching television or just watching a screen, which has there's no give and take. It's just they're just watching this one-way thing, and we are social beings. We're born social beings. So children learn better from their parents. They learn better from interaction. Right. So if they're just watching this thing, it actually, like I said, it negatively impacts brain development. And what the recommendation is that they spend, less than an hour per day on these devices.
And at what age group is that? Is that the elementary age? Is that 3?
That's pretty much from birth to 3.
Okay.
Right? Because that's when from birth to 7, they're really absorbing everything in their environment. So you want to be mindful of it, but I would say an hour per day. It will give you that time to breathe and do something. Another thing parents can do too, though, because they're always, when they're doing things a lot, and I say that because I work with a lot of parents and, they're doing things and, well, it'll slow me down if I have her help me. However, but have her help you, because initially, yes, it will slow you down. However, when you teach little Susie, who's 2, to help you fold the clothes and put the clothes away, by the time she's 2.5, she's doing that for you, and that's one less thing you have to do. And every time a child learns something, it builds more pathways in their brains. So you're really helping her brain development.
Absolutely.
And you're getting one of your chores done.
Yeah.
Or even allowing children to walk. There was a parent who said to me, I know.
They can walk like I see you walk.
I was like, your child has feet and they're fine. Well, they walk too slow. But now your back is all messed up because you've been carrying this child because your child walks too slow. So, and I say all this because, again, we're not allowing children, and I see it too often, parents are not allowing children to do the things that they're capable of doing. They do it for them. And when they do it for them, they're actually not allowing them to develop these pathways in their brain, because the more they learn, the more they learn.
Yes.
Right? Otherwise, they become helpless, and studies have shown that. You know, there's a couple, they work out of California, and they worked with children with autism, and they worked with them, you know, until they met certain goals. Now, they decided, they were cleaning out their offices, and they had all these, what do you call them? VHS tapes. Yeah, that was that long ago, right?
Okay, where are we going with it?
Yeah. So they were like, they were wondering how these children were doing. And what they found, and again, when they left, they were self-sufficient, and they were doing things, they were independent. You know, autism was not something that held them back. It was actually something that helped propel them forward because of their amazing, unique skills. Right? Because they're all gifted.
Yeah,
we're all gifted in some way, right?
Absolutely.
So when they went back and thought, okay, what happened here? They found that some of these children were working, so they were independent and working. Some were, in higher education, so college, university. And others were in homes being cared for. Yeah. Because the parents in that last group, well, baby has a diagnosis, so I have to, instead of letting the child struggle a little bit, like there are times I have to tell parents, leave him alone. Let him figure it out. Like we're toilet training, and he'll put his foot in, like the way he's trying to get over, onto the seat.
Yeah.
It looks like his foot was going in. Us just wait. And plus, if his foot goes into water, is that really the worst thing, right? Then
so
he'll learn.
Over-parenting parent
that
enables the child.
I say disable, because really they're preventing them from, really meeting their fullest potential.
Absolutely.
So, and I've seen them navigate these things. The parents will be like, I said, just step back and watch. Please, stop interfering. Stop intervening. Just leave them alone. And they're like, oh, I didn't know my child could do this. Or they, or I work with a family and they're like, oh, he'll never, or he doesn't. And I was like, okay, first of all, don't say that for your child to hear. Never, ever, ever say he won't, he can't, for your child to hear in their presence. Never, ever. If you want to say that, go outside where they can't hear you and scream it in your car. But not for them to hear you. Because they won't, right? The Pygmalion effect says we get what we expect. And there are studies that show that. The study, I don't know if you heard about it, but they had a classroom of students, and they said, okay, well, these students, they told the teacher that these students were assigned to her because she's an amazing gifted teacher. And then they told the students that they were in this class because the teacher is amazing. The students were, everybody was gifted. There's a whole gifted class, teacher and students.
That's what they were told.
That's what they were told.
Okay.
At the end of the school year, that class excelled.
Because that's what they were told.
Exactly.
And that's what they expected.
Absolutely.
Okay, I get it.
They were randomly selected.
Wow.
Right? Wow. Because we get what we expect.
Words have power.
Yes, they
Words
do.
have power. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, and children know when you're genuine with it. Do you know babies, they look here to see that your smile is genuine, right?
Yep.
So they are so intuitive. They know. So when you're talking to your child, make sure you're smiling.
Yep.
Make sure your body language says, I am so happy and thrilled that you're mine. Let your body language say it. Let your words say it. Just be excited about your child, and you will be surprised. I don't want you to be surprised. I want you to just be in awe. I want you to be excited about what they will do, because they will soar to heights when they feel that you're in their corner, and and you believe and you trust that they can.
Well, Teresa, you taught me a lot today. We have some nuggets today. We know we are going to give our kids options.
Yes.
Right? We're going to give them options throughout the day. We are going to let them help us My daughters need to start washing some dishes, I'm hearing.
Yes.
She don't know that yet. She's washing dishes. My son is going to make mistakes, and I'm not going to do for him. Ooh, that's a hard one.
Yes.
These boys.
Yeah.
I just come here, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No, let them
do it. Let them struggle. I'm hearing that.
Yes.
And we definitely already knew, but definitely good to know again that words have power. We are looking out for our expectations. We meet our expectations, so we have to set them expectations high already.
Yes.
So all the things we need to do to be, not necessarily, I hate to say good parents. It's like a parent.
Yes.
Just to be a parent.
Yes.
We're not looking for good. This is not a competition. We're looking for great. We just trying to do the best for our kids every single day.
And I honestly don't like the words good and bad because they're judgmental. They are judgmental.
It has a competition thing, like you're good, I'm not. No, it's just like we're here. It's for the sole purpose of raising the generations behind us to be good people.
Yeah, and you are who you are. Accept who you are. Accept your children for who they are.
Beautiful.
And when you're proud of them, I'll just tell you this one quick story.
Okay.
We had a foster child, and he would ask me, Mom. I said, yes, baby. He said, are you proud of me? And I'd look at him and I'd say, are you proud of you? And he'd be like, yes. And it's like, that's what, because I didn't want him to perform for me or to do things for me to make me proud. I tell teachers all the time, stop telling children what you like. Oh, I love that this person's doing that, and I love that they're doing that. Or I said, stop. Just you look at it qualitatively, like, wow, you are sitting down. Look at what they're doing, and talk about what they're doing. But don't be subjective with it. Be objective with your feedback. Because then if you don't say you like one day, and they're looking for that to validate them, then that becomes a problem.
That's a problem. Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much. I want you to tell the people who you are, where they can find you, and what you're looking for, what they're looking for, and how you can help them.
I'm I can't even talk now. I'm a board certified behavior analyst and infant toddler developmental specialist. My website is Teresa at teresaalexanderinman.com, and that's Teresa with an H.
Okay.
I've actually written a book, Pathways to Child Development, which you can find on any of your like Apple and Barnes and Noble and all those places.
All the bookstores.
Yeah.
All the online stores.
Those places. And and we're starting a television show soon called Parenting on the Spectrum.
Okay.
Yes. And so really excited about that. It will be on Apple and Roku and all those places and Fire. So super excited. And when you come on, you can stream it to all your social media platforms, and everybody can see what we're about, because it's all about helping families. That's been my passion for a long time. Because what I didn't say, my second son was born prematurely, and I wondered, I always had questions, how was he, I was scared, I was really afraid on so many levels, and I don't want parents to have those same questions. I still ask myself, he's 39 years old, 38, 39, he's up there.
I don't count either.
I forget my age sometimes too. So and I always, it's like, what could I have done? I even asked him, what could I have done differently? So anyway.
But thank you so much for coming on and sharing all your nuggets with the people. Can't wait to have you back.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you. It's been so much fun.
Okay. It's Dr. Jonique Bennett with the firm Direct Primary Care. I am so excited to introduce to you the new Lasting Effects Wellness and Weight Loss Clinic. Do you feel muscle pain, muscle aches, joint aches? Or maybe you're looking to lose 5, 10, or 20 pounds, and some of the most hardest places to lose weight are midsection, our thighs. Maybe you are looking for cellulite reduction. Well, I have just the thing. Lasting Effects Wellness and Weight Loss Clinic is starting off with a new service, red light therapy. This is a therapeutic technology that uses not only red light, but infrared wavelengths of light to stimulate the body to produce more energy. Now, this energy is going to cause cellular growth and regeneration for all of the health and wellness benefits to your body. Red light therapy penetrates even the surface of the skin. This increases collagen and reduces the appearance of cellulite. If you are interested in getting into red light therapy, come and join us and see what your health benefits are for this service here at Lasting Effects Wellness and Weight Loss Clinic.